I'm turning 30 years old on June 29th, so less than a week from when this video is posted. I'm feeling so many different emotions. I'm scared, excited, but also relieved that it's almost here. I started this YouTube channel when I was 26, believe it or not. So I thought it would be special to walk down memory lane and show you guys 30 of my favorite recipes from over the years. I'm really excited to show you guys how my content and how my recipes have evolved. And all the full recipe videos are going to be linked in the description, so don't you worry if you want to make any of these. So let's get started, shall we? So one of my first recipes that was actually pretty fire was this 400-calorie chocolate cake. I was using my iPhone 13 Pro to film the videos, but I guess I didn't know what the 4K setting was at first, so video quality is kind of crappy. At this point, I just moved to Vancouver and I was living in this Airbnb for a couple of months before we found an apartment. It didn't even have a dishwasher. I was kind of just making do with what I had. I really wanted to start my YouTube channel. Didn't want to wait any longer, but look at how thick that frosting was. Like, this cake was actually so fire. Okay, second up, we've got this cheesy garlic bread. So that same Airbnb backdrop. Guys, at the beginning of my videos, I used to show all the ingredients that I was using and lift them off one by one. I don't know why I did that. The video quality, absolutely horrendous. Also, I'm not showing you guys the full recipe video because that would be really tedious and this video would be like 3 hours long. So I'm kind of just showing the best clips. So as you can see, this recipe still looks delicious, but obviously video quality was lacking, but that's okay. Another recipe I obviously still make to this day is protein oatmeal, and I use more or less the same recipe as I used to. I'll usually do 50 grams of oats instead of 60 now. But yeah, I obviously use PE Science. Guys, I've been using PE Science since 2019, 2020 when one of my friends introduced me to them before they had a Canadian warehouse and you had to pay duties, but I was like, it's so worth it. And I've always been a fan. When I started this content, when it started to pop off, I reached out to them and was like, please, can I be an affiliate? And they finally agreed. And then obviously I got them all up sales and was performing pretty well. And they decided to agree to sponsor me. So now I am a sponsored athlete of PE Science. Well, I have been for a while actually, but I absolutely love working with them. I used to do this extra step with the oats where I would microwave it for a minute and 30 seconds, add more water, and then microwave it again because I thought that was going to make them thicker. I don't actually know if that did anything, but anyway, I used to always top with blueberries. Now I prefer raspberries. I feel like they mix in a lot better. And then for toppings, it really just depends on what I'm feeling. Like Oreos were the move that day. Now I really like Biscoff, or sometimes I like chocolate. But yeah, I absolutely love this recipe. More or less, I make it most days now. And it's crazy to think how far I've come and that I am so lucky to work with PE Science and make content for them and get free stuff with them, and I am just so thankful. Fourth recipe we've got is Dunkaroo Dip. So I used to literally eat this every night as a dessert. It's very high volume. It's kind of like a Greek yogurt dip. I made chocolate ones and sometimes I made birthday cake or strawberry ones. But yeah, I will say eating a large volume of Greek yogurt like that, it kind of made my mouth a bit dry, but I was like, whatever. I just need the lowest calorie, highest volume thing, which again, I still base a lot of my recipes around that. But back then I was really everything needed to be super high volume. But yeah, this is really thick and creamy. It's still really good to this day. Fifth one we got is this Tofu Bowl. I, again, used to literally have this every single day. I used to be one of those people that was I just ate the same things until I got absolutely sick of them. But I used to be fire at making Brussels sprouts back then. Basically just Brussels sprouts with a bunch of seasoning and Parmesan, and then tofu with the G. Hughes barbecue and some rice. And it was so simple and so good and high volume. Now we're on to the recipes of me as a 27-year-old. So we've got this carrot cake, under 500 calories for the whole thing. It's really easy to make cream cheese frosting, high protein, low calorie, using light cream cheese and the Lakanto or Swerve powdered monk fruit. So I absolutely love cream cheese frosting. Top this with some shredded carrots and some pecans. To be honest, guys, I don't even like pecans. I was just using that as garnish. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. But I don't know why I did this style of filming where you can kind of see me doing the steps and it was taking really long. I sped it up, obviously, but yeah, either way, that looked really, really good. I've lost track of how many recipes we're at, but we've got brownies now. I was really realizing the art of highest protein, lowest calorie desserts. That was what's gonna get me views and get me clicks, but obviously had to still make it really, really tasty and good. So for these brownies, again, I think I could have like baked them a bit less. They do look a bit dry, but now I'm like, you know, as time goes along, I'm realizing like sometimes less is more when it comes to bake time for brownies, cookies, that sort of thing. But yeah, these are really good. 68 calories for a whole brownie. I would sometimes like eat an entire tray of these for dinner. Like I used to have a sweet tooth where instead of eating regular dinner, I would eat like dessert for dinner. I don't know, I would have these or I'd have like a cookie skillet. It was super bizarre. It's funny now, I probably wouldn't even think to add like the macros for the whole tray because I'd be like, who's eating the whole tray one sitting? But I'm like, wait, I used to do that. But here we got one of my famous recipes, the cookie skillet. So this is a classic chocolate chip one. I feel like I'm known for my Pizookie / cookie skillets and then also my Ninja Creami recipes. I've made so many varieties of this recipe to this day, but I feel like the classic chocolate chip one is still my favorite. I always used to top it with Halo Top, and the best thing to do is top it with ice cream, but also make sure the cookie itself is underbaked and gooey. Ooh, so now we've got some baked oats. These are my salted caramel baked oats. Again, like this is one of my best baked oats recipes. They were a huge trend over COVID, but I kind of just kept going with them because they got super popular on my page and I just made like so many different varieties. I feel like this is still my favorite one to date though because it has like the Biscoff in the middle. You got to get that mini cast iron skillet. It's like 6.5 inches or 6 inches. I got it off Amazon and that's where I make a lot of my, well, that's where I make all my skillet recipes, including the baked oats, cookie skillet, etc. Now we've got Brookies. Oh my God. This is one of my like most decadent recipes where it was like you taste it and you're like, oh my God, this tastes like the real thing. This was the last recipe I made before my big breakup. I was like really struggling, in so much pain when I was like making this, editing this. I'm one of those people who's like, the show must go on. Like I'm good at keeping things moving even when I'm not doing well. Next up, we've got this Brownie Skillet. So this became super popular. It's just like the macros are so good. Another low calorie dessert recipe in a skillet. I was kind of scared to branch away from desserts at this point, but because I was like, oh, dessert recipes are performing so well, whatever. But I feel like obviously it's more practical to make a mix of recipes so people aren't just getting desserts from you, they're getting actual meals. I feel like this particular recipe that I made the first time was overbaked, but it still did really well, was still popular. So yeah. Next up, we've got this pumpkin blondie in a skillet. I absolutely love fall recipes. October is one of my favorite months. This was probably one of the best months of 2022 amidst the entire year itself not being very great overall. So this particular recipe kind of reminds me of like kind of this light at the end of the tunnel. Well, I don't even know how to describe it, but yeah, it's really, really good and gooey anyway. Oh my God, I'm obsessed with this giant chocolate chunk cookie. I love those like giant like half-pound, quarter-pound cookies like from Kai Kai Cookies. That's the one I used to get from in Ontario. This was like a lower calorie version of it to still help you enjoy that without like gorging on a 1,000-calorie cookie. This protein pancake stack without protein powder. This recipe helped me become monetized on YouTube. Like this recipe did so well. This video did so well. I honestly remember being in like a really bad mood over something, probably like a man when I filmed it back in 2022. And I remember I just like forced myself, I'm like, okay, have to get this done. And then the video absolutely popped off. So I'm like, thank God. But yeah, I love this recipe. It's so good and sweet, even though there's no protein powder. And again, I love protein powder, but obviously I just like to make recipes that don't have it. I feel like I could have made these pancakes a bit fluffier, but again, like it still did really well. And I think people appreciate creative recipes that are still low calorie, high protein, that don't have protein powder. This New York style cheesecake, this is actually still one of my favorite recipes to date. It's like one of my best tasting, best macro recipes. Like again, I feel like it's very easy to make high protein, low calorie cheesecake because there's like fat-free cream cheese and there's like the 0 calorie sugar, powdered sugar, whatever. This was really delicious. A thing that's important to know about this recipe, which you'll see it if you click on the link to the full recipe, is beating the egg whites to make stiff peaks and then adding those in. That's what makes the cheesecake like thick and like taller and actually creamy, whereas it'll fall and like not be as thick if you don't do that. But yeah, I like to top it with some light whipped cream. This is so good. I've made so many varieties of protein cheesecake. This is one of like 4 recipes I made one Saturday where I had like no plans because I was single and didn't really have like an established friend group in Vancouver yet. So I was just like powering through these recipes. Next up, these 50 calorie or like 46 calorie, whatever calorie chocolate chip cookie recipe. This, again, one of my favorite recipes to date. Like, these are so gooey and so good. And when people are like, oh, can I use unsweetened applesauce to replace the light butter? It's like, you can, but they're gonna end up spongy and gross. And the reason these cookies turn out so well is using the light margarine, which that keeps the calories lower, but also keeps the taste high, if that makes sense. And also using like a good amount of those semi-sweet chocolate chips. You could also get like lower calorie ones. I think like there's a brand called Lily's that sells them, but I don't know. They're not even that much lower calorie, so I don't even bother. One thing about these cookies is these are addictive and they taste good warm out of the oven, but also really good out of the fridge. So yeah, honestly, like keeping them around is dangerous because you might end up eating like half of it in one sitting. I do find though, if I eat too many of them, then like my stomach hurts because I don't like to eat too much artificial sweetener in one sitting. Ooh, one of my favorite recipes, one of my favorite like savory ones is this stuffed crust pizza. I had a period of time where I made this literally all the time and I just got better and better at making it. So the stuffed crust comes with cheese strings. That's like the easiest way to do it. And honestly, this is so low calorie for the amount that you're getting. Like obviously it's not a massive extra large pizza, which like people in my comments are like, oh, it's so small. I'm like, it's not small. Like you have to understand it's a stuffed crust pizza for under 600 calories. But yeah, this turned out so well. The cheese is like perfectly bubbly. And I like to put like everything bagel crust. This is when I was starting to get the hang of savory recipes and realize like, okay, I don't need to just put breakfast and dessert recipes on my channel. I can actually make delicious savory recipes. And I also love making childhood favorites or like recipes from my childhood, like stuffed crust. Okay, guys, now we've got recipes from age 28, including this strawberry Ninja Creami. So this is around the time I got my Ninja Creami. I think I was technically 27 when I got it, but I really started getting the hang of it like during that summer after I turned 28. This looks so good. This literally looks like the strawberry ice cream you get from the tub. Also, that first Ninja Creami video that I posted with this recipe is still the highest performing video on my channel to this day. Biscoff Cake. Now, I love everything Biscoff. You guys have to understand, and I know you do. This frosting looks so good and creamy. Oh my God. I mean, it's like a mix of Biscoff and amongst other things, so that's why it's really good. But I used to pop off on cakes. I used to make a lot of like single serving cakes. And I still love them. I feel like I've made every flavor known to man, but maybe I should like remake the videos. I feel like I also wasn't very good at frosting back then. And if I got one of those rotating things, you know what I'm talking about, I'd probably be better at frosting. But yeah, I feel like I have Biscoffified pretty much every single recipe there is. If there's a recipe that I still need to Biscoffify, please let me know and I will do it. This recipe I used to be sickly obsessed with. It was feta eggs on toast. I first saw it on TikTok and I would literally make it like every single day. I just kind of went through that phase. Again, I had this phase when I was like living alone, single. I would just like eat the same thing over and over again. But yeah, it's super simple. Like you can literally see it here, but I like to get the eggs a certain amount where like they weren't too runny, but they would like break and run over my toast. And I've literally never owned a toaster. I just use an air fryer to toast. Honestly, guys, from age 28, I didn't have like that much new content. I feel like I was making compilation videos a lot on YouTube, like, 5 cake recipes. And I would use the recipes that I had made previously just because I was doing so much traveling at this age and I was always gone and not near a kitchen. Now we've got this taco dip recipe. This recipe is like high protein, really easy. It's good for like potlucks. You'll see I kind of blended those cheese sauce ingredients together and then put some Yves veggie ground or whatever veggie ground you have and then top it with lettuce. And then yeah, I just like to pair with tortilla chips. This would be really good for a potluck if you have like a wider container. I'm pretty sure I have brought this recipe to a potluck. I feel like also when I was 28, I was getting really fatigued with filming recipes because I used to film different recipes to put on IG and TikTok and then different from the ones I put on YouTube. But then I slowly started to realize like, hey, my audience is different on both platforms. Ooh, this is one of my favorite Ninja Creami recipes, Ben & Jerry's. This is like the half-baked version. I love recreating like unhealthy foods to be high protein, low calorie, including this Ben & Jerry's tub. I was so proud of it. I feel like I'm known for my Ninja Creami recipes. Like those are the highest performing videos on my channel always. And people that recognize me in real life say that they recognize me from my Ninja Creami videos, or if my coworkers come across my videos on their For You page. So back to what I was saying. Yeah, so basically I'll post a video on YouTube with like 5 baked oats recipes, for example, and then I will repurpose that into short form content for TikTok and Instagram, because that's what I have the capacity to do. And again, my audience is different on both platforms. Now we got recipes from age 29, which is the age I am now. So breakfast burritos. Again, getting more comfortable doing savory recipes. This became the start of my breakfast burrito craze. I had a period of time where I was making them literally all the time, and I finally got good at rolling them and folding them, and I made so many different varieties. You guys love breakfast recipes, because this video that includes this burrito recipe is the second highest performing recipe on my channel. You guys absolutely love them. For my next book, like obviously I have a cookbook coming out with desserts, but for my next one, I want to make one that just has breakfast recipes. I feel like that'll also do really well, and you guys will love that. But yeah, I absolutely love breakfast burritos, and I also discovered my love for recipes that you can easily meal prep, because even though I work from home, I still love to meal prep. Going back to what I said about my different platforms, I know obviously there are people that subscribe to me on YouTube and then also follow me on TikTok and Instagram, and I absolutely love you if you're one of those people. I definitely post more content on TikTok that's like casual, or like me talking to the camera, or me like rating protein bars, or like talking about like random things in my life, or posting about my outfits at EDC, or like vlog, like that kind of thing. And then my Instagram, I do story content, which obviously you don't see on any other platform. So if you don't follow me on TikTok or IG, get on that, please. So next up, we've got this blueberry Ninja Creami recipe. So I feel like I have really started to get the hang of Ninja Creami and like actually perfecting the recipes, like scraping down the sides, using xanthan gum, etc. And I've actually made videos that have like full tips and tricks for Ninja Creami, and people love them. I normally don't even love flavors that are just fruit, like blueberry, for example, but I love this recipe. And then I decided to make a bunch of fruit flavors. Like I made banana, mango, etc. So good. One of my favorite brand deals of all time, and like one of my most lucrative ones as well, was actually getting to work with Shark Ninja on their Ninja Creami Swirl. Like that was a dream partnership, and it showed like how far I came along. Jesus, you can see the weight on my face from before I lost 15 pounds. Next up, we've got nachos. So I absolutely love nachos. They're like my favorite junk food, quote unquote. It's so hard to make them low calorie though. So what I did was I used like cheese sauce, like the protein cheese sauce that I use in like my mac and cheese recipes and all that. And this is a great appetizer. Honestly, it is a fan favorite. I made it at my St. Patty's party and everyone loved it. Also, guys, I know I'm turning 30 very soon. Comment below and tell me how old you thought I was if you didn't know what my age was before this video. I feel like part of me is scared to see what people would comment, but honestly, I feel like I look my age. I don't feel like I look younger or old. Well, hopefully not older. I mean, I don't take care of my skin, but I also like don't really do anything that would cause me to get excess wrinkles. So I did a big girl thing earlier this year, and I finally got a camera because I realized my iPhone 13 Pro was not cutting it, especially if people wanted to watch my YouTube videos on TV. So one of the first recipes I filmed were these vanilla cupcakes and like just cupcake recipes in general. They were a huge hit, especially on Insta and TikTok. They went pretty viral, and for a good reason. I mean, they literally look like store-bought cupcakes. I gave them to my boyfriend and he was like, these taste like they're from the store. But yeah, I think the secret to this recipe really was the pudding mix. Like they made them so moist, and also getting the frosting piper, it made the frosting look so much better. Another thing that I did in 2025 was lose 15 pounds. I started second week of January when I got back from Dublin and realized that I'd kind of let myself go. My diet was pretty crap. So yeah, recipes like these really help me stick to that calorie deficit. I'm actually ending my calorie deficit at the end of this week, right before my birthday, which is super exciting. But I will definitely still be eating recipes like these while I'm in my maintenance to make sure I don't gain back the weight. Next up, we've got tiramisu overnight oats. This is my favorite overnight oats recipe to date. It's so creamy and thick. I could literally eat this every day. Really, the key ingredients here are the blend of the light ricotta and non-fat Greek yogurt to make this delicious topping. Obviously, coat it with a bit of cocoa powder and make sure to put it in the fridge for at least 3 hours. So you could put it overnight, but you could also make it like earlier in the morning and then eat it later in the day if that's your jam. I really love tiramisu flavored recipes. Like after I made this tiramisu overnight oats, I was like, I have to make a protein tiramisu. So that's actually included in my cookbook. By the way, guys, I have a new cookbook coming out. It's going to be released on June 25th, but you can actually buy it on pre-sale right now. It's called Lean Treats, and it has 50 high protein, low calorie dessert recipes, 8 of which are recipes that I have never posted online and never will. So they are exclusive to the cookbook. So if you want to pre-purchase that, head to the link in my description. Oh my God, guys, I'm obsessed with this Biscoff cheesecake bowl. I crave it all the time, but the issue is you do have to do a bit of preparation and put it in the fridge for 3 hours before you can eat it. So it's one of those recipes that you can't just like make and enjoy off the bat, just like Ninja Creamy. But yeah, I made a bunch of these cheesecake bowls, but the Biscoff one is my favorite. This was also a hit at my Love Island watch party. I had a Love Island dinner / watch party when the first episode came out. So whenever that was, maybe like a couple weeks ago, and they wanted to go home and make it themselves. By the way, this container, it's like a ceramic container. I got this from HomeSense in Vancouver. Unfortunately, they don't have an online store. Otherwise, I would link it. But yeah, like any ceramic container will really do. I linked a similar one in my Shop My, so you could go to the link in the description and find it there. But yeah, this looks so thick and delicious. Wow, we're almost done, guys. This, again, one of my favorite recent recipes, these Biscoff Baked Oats without protein powder. So obviously, it's more difficult to make recipes that are like high in protein and like sweet and actually taste good without protein powder, because protein powder not only adds protein, but adds like sweetness, right? But these are so good and moist. You've got to bake them for the perfect amount of time. It's crazy how many comments I get of people that like, they comment on pretty much every one of my recipes that have protein powder and are like, can I make this without protein powder? So that's kind of where the demand came in. People think that I don't like protein powder, but no, I love it and I'm obsessed with PE science. I have it every day, but I just want to be more inclusive and include recipes for people that don't have protein powder. And lastly, to round up my favorite recipes from my 20s, this mac and cheese. This is one of my favorite savory recipes. It's so good, so versatile. Basically, the macaroni is the Catelli protein macaroni. It has like 19 grams protein per serving, just the pasta alone. And then the cheese base, you'll see obviously the link to the actual recipe, but this cheese sauce is so good. It's so versatile. You can add your mix-ins and toppings of choice. So I usually mix in like Beyond Steak and then maybe like mushrooms, onions, tomatoes. One of my friends texted me last night and she's like, I want to make one of your dinner recipes. What should I make? And this was the main recipe that I recommended to her because I just think it's so, so good. It's a really good meal prep recipe as well. Like I usually make it for dinner and then my boyfriend and I will have a portion each and then I'll save a portion for the next day for lunch. I really want to make more savory recipes and branch out. I feel like sometimes I get scared to make savory recipes that aren't like a cheesy thing, like, oh, cheesy pasta or cheesy pizza or whatever. But obviously I've made like burger bowls and sushi bowls and stuff and those did really well. And like, obviously I like to make recipes that I just enjoy and I don't necessarily want to worry about like, okay, is this going to do well? But at the end of the day, I want to make recipes that you guys actually want to see and that people will actually view and will be useful. So yeah, but this is really delicious. The portion size, amazing. So good for volume eaters like me. Overall, I am anxious about turning 30. Like, I'm not going to lie. I feel like it'll be fine once it actually happens though. I have felt 30 years old the entire time being 29. Like from the second I turned 29, I was like, oh my God, I'm almost 30 and I've been thinking about it since. So at least when you turn 30, you're kind of like starting from the bottom again in a sense. Are your 30s the same as your 20s, but with money? Like as long as you don't have kids, like is that really the case? Comment below if you're in your 30s and let me know what you think. I am proud of what I've accomplished in my 20s and I'm excited to see what my 30s bring. New decade, new me. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then I'm going to link a recipe here that you should watch next. Please feel free to watch any of the other recipes in the description from my 20s. I'm sure you'll enjoy them. And please give this video a like, subscribe, and share it with your friends, as it really helps the channel. And I post new videos every week. And with that, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.